Here's a, I don't want to say this.
So, do you want to turn that heater off behind you?
Is it? Yeah, unless it's too hot for everybody
I'll
else.
turn this one off. If the door opens, you're gonna want it. Because it's a cold blast of air. We are gonna be using all of our props today. A couple blocks, bolster, blanket if you want it, and a strap. And so here at the studio, I had already looped all the straps together. And so at home, if you would loop that together, usually if you take it through the larger hole and then thread it back through, come on in, where the teeth or the grooves are, that will hold it in place like this. That's what we want. Hi, Sarah. You guys are set up right here. I did get your message, but I wasn't able to text back. So I'll go ahead and talk about what I'm planning for today. In the previous class of Blissful Flow, I was requested, there was someone actually moving from Mount Juliet down to Spring Hill. And hey, Allison, it's okay. And she requested that her last class with us at Unity yesterday, she requested that I do a Lotus series where you bind yourself up in Lotus with the straps. And so I did that yesterday and I rolled it over for the studio today for Blissful Flow. We're not doing that in this class because that is not a gentle pose, even though there's ways to make it more accessible. This is a gentle / restorative class, and I thought since we had the full moon on Sunday and we had the winter solstice yesterday, that we needed to be 100% restorative today. So that's my plan for you. Chill out, let's relax, and let's reset. So with that in mind, the solstice actually means stillness of the sun. And if you think about it, as we're leading up to the winter solstice, it becomes the shortest day of the year as far as daylight is concerned, or the darkest day of the year. And then from today, as we build up to the summer solstice, we get longer amounts of sunlight every day. So with that stillness of the sun, it represents the more or less death and rebirth of the sun. And so that symbology of rebirthing is very prevalent for the winter solstice. This is a great time to rest and to reflect. A really great time to meditate, to do practices like this, as well as to journal. It's a good time to consider what energies we need to release and let go of, whether that is limiting thoughts or behaviors or habits, maybe some toxicity in our relationships or with our words that come out of our mouth. And it's a good time to also implement intentions for any type of new beginnings or anything that you may want to work towards. So it doesn't surprise me that it comes at the end of the year. And that's usually what we are drawn to do in the wintertime and drawn to do as the dawning of the new year begins. So with that being said, because I did lead up to the Lotus with that theme in the flow classes, I just want to say that the Lotus is also symbolic of rebirthing. It's symbolic of growth and transformation, regeneration and enlightenment. And if you think about how the lotus is planted in the mud, right? It's hidden from the sun with its roots. But from the mud, it grows up through the murky water and it's trying to reach the sunlight. And so that beautiful representation of it surfacing over the rim of the water and then spreading out its petals towards the sunlight. This is something that is symbolic a lot in the East. Obviously in yoga, since yoga stems from the East, but it also shows up in Egyptian hieroglyphics. So I want you to keep that aspect in mind as we go into these positions. Oh, I forgot to get you guys a blanket. You may want one, so I'll bring you one.
Oh, thank you.
So we're gonna start off in a pose, even though we're not gonna do lotus. I thought we would do poses that help to open up the hips for lotus, even though that's not what we're gonna be doing. I kind of like a blanket underneath my head when I'm flat on my back, because the hardness of the floor can be a little rough when you start relaxing, your head gets heavier. You may want either a bolster or a block for this, because I'll show you what we're gonna do. We're gonna start off lounging on our backs. We're gonna bend the right knee. And then we're gonna hinge open from this hip. Now, if you wanted to be truly yin, all right, you can just let the knee hang free towards gravity to really open up that hip joint. But to keep it restorative, you want to prop a bolster or a block beneath it. We're just going to start off here. Your arms are welcome to hang down beside your body like an A-frame position. You are welcome to spin the arms open and above you, which allows the heart center to balloon more. And you are also welcome to rest your hands on your belly to provide more grounding. So I'll let you choose what it is that your body needs in the now. Close and rest your eyes. And sometimes as adults or as women, we need to give ourselves permission to just be. To let go of doing and giving. And I want you to gift yourself this by coming into a state of stillness with your body and luring your mind towards some inner stillness as well. For now, I want you to notice the weight descending into your left heel. And try not to correct or position your foot in any particular way. So it's okay if it rolls in or out. Let go of any engagement in the muscles. May feel like the right hip has a little bit more space or air with this opening. And then feel the contact of the earth beneath your sacrum. Be sure to soften your muscles in the low back and in the belly. And watch how the belly balloons up and down as you breathe in. How it relaxes down and in. Breathe out. Feel the backside of your rib cage, shoulder blades nestling on the floor. Then drop your inner gaze down into your heart space. Imagine that blooming in your heart space. Beautiful pink lotus. Sitting on that green lily pad at the top of the water. Stem being like the spine. Moving down through the water and into the mud below. This green and pink imagery of a lotus representing the heart chakra. Each breath you take, imagine that another petal is opening up, radiating upward and outward in various directions. Next in breath, go ahead and flutter the right knee back up. Flatten the sole of the foot down. And then take a moment just to reach your hands around to the top of the right shin. And just gently drawing the right knee in towards the upper body. Try not to overly squeeze. A light hold is enough. And keep the right ankle relaxed. Let's release the right leg, extend it down the mat. Just feel the difference between the right and the left leg at this point. Notice how there's more energy flowing, there's a little bit more aliveness, vitality. even though we were resting and doing something very gentle to the body. Just shows you a little goes a long way. Let's bend the left knee. We'll take it to the other side. So if you want to open up the hinge of the hip, allowing the left foot to connect to the straight leg. You can be here in yin if you want more sensation. But if you want to stay true to restorative, you're going to prop a bolster or block beneath the knee or thigh. And at this point on the second side, you are welcome to maintain your same arm position. You are also open to change that position. So be at liberty to check into yourself, to see what you need, to see what your body prefers. Notice if your focus is maintained or if you need to refocus. If you enjoyed that imagery before of the lotus blooming at the heart, come back to that imagery. Imagine on each and every in-breath, drawing the nourishment up from the earth through the stem of the lotus. On your exhalation, receive the blessings from the heaven, the light and the warmth from above, and allow it to pour down from the lotus through the stem and back into the mud. Enriching alignment on the inhale. Downward pull of grounding on the exhale. Imagine each of the lotus petals representing a different attribute of the heart. Love, acceptance, gratitude, passion, forgiveness, courage, faith, empathy,
Inhale, flutter the left knee up. Then tag a hold of it with your hands and gently hug it in. Left ankle stays soft. Breath stays full. Now we'll step the left foot down, slide the leg out in front of you. And we're going to move the feet and slide them over towards that right corner of your mat. Your arms are going to circle up alongside your ears, and you're going to swerve the upper body to the right as well. Keeping the shoulder blades connected to the floor, the sits bones connected to the floor. Taking a side bend. This is called banana asana, taking the shape of a banana. Now, if you curve so much that you feel any type of blockage with your breath, if it feels inhibited at all, then straighten up a little bit. This is considered the lunar panel of the body. More feminine side, softer nature. So try to breathe a little bit more into your left lung. Side bend is decreasing the stress housed here, reducing the tension that's formed here. But we can take a deeper breath. Allotting more space for the air to enter into the lung. So that's the idea about being ritualistic during times like the winter solstice. Being contemplative. What do I need to release in order to create space for something new to come along? On your next in breath, take the left foot over to the left corner of the mat. Slide your trunk to center, separate your hands wide like you're forming a star shape with your body. Feel that vibrancy remaining on your left side, especially through the waist area. And now let's take it to the other. Slide your right foot over to join your left. Swerve the right arm over close to the face and the left ear closer to the left arm. Both heels on the ground, both sides of the buttocks on the ground, and both shoulder blades on the ground. Reconnect to your breath. Breathe up the right side and into your right lung. So the right lung is a little larger than the left, so it may feel more accessible to breathe in on this side. The solar panel side. What relates back to the masculine, the active. Currently walking around, I'm just going to strategically place your block close by for the next pose. And on your next inhalation, go ahead and create that star shape again, separating the right foot away, right arm away, and head to center. And then as you exhale, I want you to wrap your arms lovingly around the legs, hugging them both in at the same time. Let's just send the feet down. And your block should be to your right side or left side of hands reach. We're gonna press down through the soles of the feet to elevate the hips. And we're gonna slide that block under the sacrum for a restorative bridge. That block can turn several different heights, 3 in fact. Pick one that's more suitable for your body. And then to hold it for a period of time. Now, instead of gazing toward the heart center, I want you to change your inner gaze towards the mind's eye, the center of the breath. And in your mind's eye, I want you to picture a blue or a purple lotus. Picture it being in full bloom. All of its splendor, brilliance, and beauty, sitting on top of the water. In order for this lotus to really bloom in this brilliance, it has to be rooted. This past Sunday, I did a restorative and Reiki workshop and only had like about 7 minutes to work on each person. And one particular friend of mine was there. And when I started to work on her, all the messages coming in was that she was so scatterbrained, too busy, and completely ungrounded. When I wanted to check her roots, I got this imagery of her feet sloshing around in a mud puddle that was pretty much just water, just dirty, mucky water. And there were no roots. So if we want to flourish and thrive and grow and move through transformation, we need to have the sense of grounding. So check in to feel the contact of the sticky mat beneath your feet. Feel the block supporting your sacrum. The floor underneath your head. Feel that connection. And imagine that lotus in full bloom. Your knees start to fan out too wide. Push down a little harder through the mounds of the toes, the inner arch, the inner heel. Let's hold it 3 more breaths. Now pressurize the feet more, tuck the tailbone, engage the buttocks so that you can slide the block away. Roll down to your low back and immediately lift the feet off the floor. Raise them up. It's good for circulation. And feel free if you want to point and flex the feet, or if you feel like rotating your ankles, you can add in a little movement there. And then exhale, hug the knees back in. Fan your arms wide apart and let your knees roll over to the left. Now, if by chance you have a lot of space between the thighs, you're welcome to put a block in between. They may stack where you don't need it. And even if there is a gap, if it doesn't feel like it's pulling on your low back, then you may not even necessarily need it. But let your arms be wide, your palms be spun open. Since we're in the twist, if you already know what energies you need to release, maybe what limiting beliefs or ideas you need to release, maybe some false opinions or falsehoods about yourself. Imagine you're wringing and washing it out with this twist. Inhale, let's draw the knees through center. Exhale, switch them over to the right. This side may have a different experience for you. Feel free to add in the prop if needed. And then return to your breath. On this side, consider if there is anything that has kept you bound. Perhaps kept you stuck. Imagine breathing those things away. as you're maintaining this twist. Like new energy to pour in. With that new energy, pure positive potentiality for new doorways and opportunities to present. Let's roll over to the right side. Just tuck your right arm up underneath your ear a moment. Push down through the left palm and slowly rise. All right, so we're going to use the strat now. And we're going to have the bolster behind us. We haven't done this in a while, or I haven't led it in a while, I should say. You may have done it with someone else. We're going to take this strap around the body. And have the bracket out in front, you may have to adjust it. Let it slip all the way down to your low back. And you're going to bring the soles of the feet together. This is as close as we're going to get to lotus today. If it's too loose, you can tighten the strap. Don't tighten it so much that your heels are already close to your pubic bone though, because watch what happens. When you start to lower down, the strap is going to pull the heels closer in anyway. Ooh, right? Got it. If you find that it's too strong of a sensation, you're welcome to take the blocks under the knees, or you can roll up a blanket. And the blanket can go over the feet and tuck up underneath the calves like this, just to provide a little additional support. We
did a whole chakra series here recently. It took us 7 weeks. Focused on one chakra a week. And if you remember from that series, each and every chakra is represented or symbolized by a lotus. Today already, we focused on the lotus of the heart. We focused with the lotus at the third eye. Do you need a second one? Okay. Oh, thanks. Yeah, thank you. Now we're going to focus on a white lotus. And white represents purity, wisdom. So if you'd like to imagine it blooming on top of the water, radiating its petals upward and outward in different directions. You can even imagine it sitting at the crown of your head. Each of those petals representing a moment of enlightenment or your own inner awareness waking up at different points along the way through this lifetime or multiple. So this can be your inner visual to meditate on. Imagine if we all looked at the white lotus as being the symbol of this next new year. Because we're about to enter 2022 in numerology that equates to the number 6. If you consider the number 6, it's actually also representative of a birthing or a rebirthing. The theme that I'm putting forth for 2022 is something similar to revelations and revolutions. 22 is also considered a master number or an angel number. Notice through your relaxation how much more pure the breath appears to be. Hopefully you've been purifying your mind and heart through this practice. So sit and dwell with that. The remainder of our time together.
begin to deepen the flow of your breath. To maximize the breath, and then slowly exit out this pose. So you may need to push one foot into the strap to slide the other one back in order to lift the knees. To roll to one side. To come up. To remove that strap. I like to sit on the bolster in the end, and then we can find it's better for the back. Welcome to join. And since we focused on the lotus today, we're going to do the Lotus Mudra, which is the wrist together, pinky thumbs together. We'll hold it like a vessel at the heart. There's a common expression that says, no mud, no lotus. So remember this as you move through the holiday season. Try to stay grounded. And then bring this lotus to bloom overhead. The one that we pictured as white, representing wisdom, purity, awakenings, transformation. Remembering we have to let some things go, some of our attachments go, in order to create space for the new. This will be the lesson for this next year. Drawing your hands down together to prayer position at your heart. And again with the mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum. Celebrate the jewel of the lotus, the spirit within your own heart. The spirit indwelling in my heart bows respectfully and humbly to the spirit that lives within yours. Namaste. Joining today. If you needed some rest.
It was so awesome.